Welcome back. We are standing in front of the third door.
The third door.
Yeah, and if you've been with us for the last couple of weeks, you know exactly what we're doing here.
You know the drill.
We're walking through this series, Classic Mosaic Truth, and we're taking on James Allen's masterpiece, As a Man Thinketh.
Just this tiny little book from, what, 1903?
Exactly, from 1903, and it somehow seems to explain the entire human condition. We're just taking it apart, line by line.
It's a small book, but it has a really long shadow, you know?
It really does.
It's one of those texts that once you read it, you start seeing its influence absolutely everywhere.
Exactly. And if you're just joining us now, the first two doors were, well, they were mental. We talked about thought and character.
How you're the architect.
Right, the architect of your own personality. That we went through thought and circumstance, how your mind is this seedbed for your reality. But today
is different.
Today we are leaving the abstract. We're getting physical.
We are. This is the moment in the text where let's say, philosophy crashes right into physiology.
Yeah, we're looking at the chapter called Thought and the Body. And I have to be honest, right up front, when I saw this on our schedule, my skepticism radar just went off.
I can imagine.
I saw Thought and Body, and I immediately thought, okay, here we go.
The woo-woo alert.
Total woo-woo alert. Is this going to be some, mind over matter, wish it away, positive thinking magic trick?
That's a very common reaction, actually. It's the fear that we're going to start claiming you can levitate if you just, believe hard enough.
Right. I did not want us to sit here and tell people that if they just think really hard, they can regrow a limb or, I don't know, never get the flu.
Of course not.
But then I read the chapter. And more importantly, I read all the notes you brought in to back it up. The behavioral psychology, the neuroscience. And I realized something. James Allen isn't talking about magic.
No, he's talking about mechanics.
He's arguing for something that completely flips our normal view of health. I mean, we usually see our bodies as these separate machines we're just carrying around.
Like a car.
Exactly, like a car. You drive the car, but you aren't the car. If it breaks down, you take it to the mechanic. We treat the body like an object.
That's that old ghost in the machine idea, isn't it? The mind is the pilot, the body's just the vehicle, and they're not really connected.
Right. But Allen is saying the body is actually a scoreboard.
That is the perfect image for it, a scoreboard.
It's a scoreboard for the history of your mind. Every single stress, every worry, every moment of joy, every grudge you've held, it's all keeping score in your tissues. And we spend so much time trying to change that score from the outside. Diets, expensive creams, brutal gym routines. But Allen says we're missing the root cause. We're ignoring the atmosphere inside the stadium.
And if that atmosphere is toxic, it doesn't matter how often you repaint the scoreboard, the score is going to reflect the game being played.
Precisely. So that's the mission for this conversation. We are going to unpack how your mental patterns are literally shaping your physical reality. Right now, we're going to translate this old wisdom into plain modern English.
And look at the biology, why a thought actually has weight.
Yes. And most importantly, we're going to give you a specific protocol, a body tone reset, to stop that negative feedback loop. If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
It's good to be back. And I want to circle back to that skepticism you mentioned because it's so important we validate that.
Okay.
In the modern world, we are just so conditioned to see the body as this biological machine, purely chemical, purely mechanical.
We want the mechanical cause.
Yeah.
Right? We want the pill, the surgery, the tangible fix for the tangible problem.
Always. We think, oh, I have a headache because I'm dehydrated, or my shoulders are tight because this chair is terrible.
It might be.
It might be. Or I'm tired because I didn't get my 8 hours.
But are those things false? Because I definitely get a headache when I don't drink enough water.
No, they're true. Of course they're true. But they're not the whole truth. They're what we'd call the downstream effects. It's not that the chair isn't bad. It is. But the tension in your shoulders, that had to come from a signal first. A muscle doesn't just decide to tighten all on its own.
Yeah.
It needs a command.
The muscle is just an employee. It's waiting for orders from corporate.
Exactly. And James Allen opens this section with a phrase that is the anchor for everything we're going to discuss. It's a very provocative sentence. He says, the body is the servant of the mind.
The body is the servant of the mind. Let's unpack that. Because servant is a loaded word. It implies total obedience. It implies the body doesn't have will of its own. It just does what it's told.
And that is precisely the metaphor. Alan writes that the body obeys the operations of the mind, whether they are, and this is key, deliberately chosen or automatically expressed.
Ah, and that distinction, deliberate versus automatic, that's where we get into trouble.
That's the whole game.
Because I'm assuming most people are not deliberately telling their body, hey, could you please store a massive knot of tension right here in my lower back?
No one is consciously choosing that. I would like one tension headache at 4 in the afternoon, please. No.
Right.
But we do choose the thoughts that signal safety or danger. And the body, being this faithful servant, it responds to the signal, not your intent.
It responds to the signal, not the intent. That is huge.
Think about it. This isn't magic. It is pure mechanism. If we translate thought and body into plain, modern English, you can really see the gears turning.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do that translation. If I have a thought, what's the actual, biological event? How does it become physical?
Okay, so it breaks down into 3 primary signals. 3 ways the servant obeys the master. First, and this is the big one, thoughts dictate breath patterns.
Breath. Okay, that seems basic.
It's basic, but it's foundational. If you're thinking a stressful thought, let's say, I'm never going to get this project done on time. Right, your brain signals a threat. The amygdala fires. What happens to your breath?
It stops. Or it gets really, really shallow up in your chest.
Your diaphragm freezes. You might even hold your breath. People call it email apnea.
I do that all the time.
That is a physical shape caused entirely by a mental image. The body is serving the mind's fear. It's preparing you to run or fight, even though you're just sitting in a chair.
So thought A, which is fear, leads to breath pattern B, which is restriction.
Got it. Second, thoughts dictate muscle tension. This is the bracing response. If you're mentally defensive, say you feel criticized or unsure of yourself in a meeting, your body physically armors up.
How so?
You clench your jaw. You raise your shoulders up towards your ears. You tighten your core. The thought is totally invisible, but that tension, that's hard physical reality.
And if you do that every day for 10 years?
You change your structure. You change your posture. You literally mold the clay of your body into the shape of your defensiveness.
Wow. Okay, and what's the third translation?
The third is behavioral. Thoughts dictate choices. If your mind is filled with thoughts of depletion, I can't handle this, I'm so tired, I deserve a treat.
Give up thoughts.
The give up thoughts. Your hand reaches for the comfort food. Your legs decide to skip the gym. The body is just following the permission slip that the mind signed.
The permission slip signed by the mind. That is such a powerful way to put it. Oh, we're giving up today. Okay, shutting down the engines.
Exactly. And Alan uses this very evocative imagery here. He says, sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. And on the flip side, glad and beautiful thoughts clothe the body with youthfulness and beauty.
Clothe the body. I love that phrase. It's like an outfit you put on from the inside out.
And this isn't just, poetic license. This is where we bring in that Mosaic support layer. I mean, look at the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius has this incredible line in his Meditations. He says, the soul is dyed by the thoughts.
Dyed, like you're dipping fabric in dye.
Yes, exactly like that, like dipping a white cloth into a vat of purple dye. Aurelius argues that if you hold a perpetually fearful or cynical outlook, soon enough, your whole being is it's dyed that color.
And modern science backs this up.
It backs it up beautifully. We know about the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Okay, hold on. Let's break that down. HPA axis, that sounds very technical for a guy writing in 1903.
It is the biological mechanism for what Aurelius called dying the soul. It's our stress response system. When you have a thought, a worry, the hypothalamus in your brain goes, threat detected.
Okay.
It signals the pituitary gland. The pituitary signals the adrenal glands.
And the adrenals dump the chemicals.
Right.
Cortisol, adrenaline.
That's the dye.
Yeah.
That cortisol is the dye. It washes over every single cell in your body. It changes your blood pressure. It shuts down digestion because you don't need to digest lunch if you're running from a tiger.
Right.
It suppresses your immune function. So when Aurelius says the soul is dyed and Alan says the body is a servant, they're describing the exact same biological cascade.
It's just amazing to think that a thought, which feels so airy and intangible like smoke in your head, is actually a massive chemical event.
It has weight.
It has real consequences.
It absolutely does. But we need to pause here for a second. We have to set some critical boundaries.
Yeah.
A disclaimer.
Yes, let's be very, very clear about this. Because it's easy to veer into dangerous territory when we talk about thoughts affecting health.
Right. So we are explicitly stating that this is not medical advice. We are not claiming that if you have a broken leg or a serious infection or an acute illness, you can just think it away.
We are not saying just think happy thoughts and your appendix will unburst.
No. That is the kind of interpretation that gives this whole field a bad name. It's dangerous. What we're discussing and what Alan is discussing is body tone.
Body tone.
We are talking about patterns, habits, lifestyle choices, the daily practices that cumulatively affect your vitality. We're talking about the difference between a body that's chronically exhausted and brittle versus a body that's resilient and ready.
It's the difference between a car that's maintained every single day and one that's just driven into the ground until it stops working.
Precisely. We're talking about preventative maintenance for your nervous system.
So we have the concept. Body is the servant. We have the boundary. This is about patterns and vitality, not emergency medicine. So now, the mechanism.
Yeah.
I want the step by step. How does an invisible thought become a visible symptom?
Okay, let's call this the practical chain. It happens in 5 steps, and if you can see the steps, you can interrupt them. If you can't, you're just a victim of them.
Okay, walk us through it. Step 1.
Step 1 is the thought, the invisible trigger. So you're at your desk, it's 2 in the afternoon, an email comes in, the thought flashes. I am never going to get this done. I'm going to fail.
Okay, a very common thought.
Yeah.
Totally invisible. No one else hears it.
Right. But your brain hears it, which leads to step 2. The emotion tone. This is that chemical wash. Your brain translates, I'm going to fail, into danger. It spikes your anxiety, releases the cortisol. You feel that wash of heat or that pit in your stomach.
So the thought becomes a feeling. Information becomes sensation.
Exactly. And that sensation leads to step 3. Body signals. This is the physical bracing. Because you feel anxious, your body prepares for impact. Your shoulders creep up to your ears.
Turtling.
Turtling, yeah. Your jaw clamps shut, your breathing gets shallow, your body is now physically manifesting the anxiety.
And this all happens in, what, a millisecond?
Instantaneously, you don't even know you're doing it, and now comes the behavioral part. Step 4 is the choice. Because your body feels tight and awful, you make a reactive choice to fix the feeling.
Like what?
You might decide to skip your lunch break because you're too busy, or you might reach for a donut for a quick dopamine hit to numb the anxiety.
The body demands relief. It
No,
says,
but
I feel bad. Give me something to make me feel good now.
Exactly. And finally, step 5 is the habit. If you do this loop every single day, stress thought, cortisol spike, body tension, sugar rush, it solidifies, it crystallizes. The tension becomes your posture. The poor nutrition becomes your diet.
And that is what Alan means by crystallization.
Yes. He writes that thoughts crystallize into habits, which solidify into circumstances. You don't just wake up one day with a bad back and chronic fatigue out of nowhere.
It's the crystallization of thousands of these tiny moments.
Thousands of micro moments of tension and poor choices, all driven by that first thought pattern.
That word crystallize is so perfect. It suggests something that was once fluid becoming hard, like sugar water turning into rock candy.
And once it's rock candy, it's very hard to dissolve. That's why we have to catch it while it's still fluid.
You mentioned anxiety specifically in that chain. Alan has a very strong quote about that, doesn't he? Anxiety quickly demoralizes the whole body.
That word demoralizes is fascinating. We usually think of it as meaning discouraged. The team was demoralized.
Right, they were sad. They lost their morale.
But look at the roots. Demoralize. To strip of its structure, its integrity. In a biological sense, anxiety weakens the body's defenses.
It literally strips the body of its ability to fight.
It does. It exhausts the nervous system. When you're anxious, you are constantly in fight or flight. Your system is burning resources at a massive rate just to stay still. It's like revving your car's engine in neutral.
You're not going anywhere, but you're burning through all your fuel.
And wearing out the engine? And Alan links this to the idea of a guarded heart.
From Proverbs, right? Guard your heart.
Yes, for it is the wellspring of life. When we're mentally defensive, guarding ourselves against criticism or failure, our physical posture collapses. We hunch forward.
To protect our organs.
To protect the vital organs, yes. It's a primal fetal curl. You are physically protecting your heart because you are mentally feeling attacked.
And if you sit in that guarded heart posture for 10 years,
you're going to have structural issues. You're going to have shallow breathing, digestion problems because your organs are physically compressed. The mental state of defense becomes a physical state of collapse.
It's terrifying, but it's also empowering. Because if the whole chain starts with a thought, then changing the thought should change everything else.
That's the hope. That is the entire promise of this work.
Okay, I want to make this real for people. We've done the theory. Let's get into 3 specific examples, the kinds of things we all deal with. Work, relationships, habits.
Let's start with work, the pressure cooker.
Okay, set the scene for me. It's Tuesday, you have a huge deadline, your email is dinging nonstop, you feel like you're drowning.
In that scenario, the underlying pressure thought, the seed of it all, is usually something like, I must do this perfectly or I am unsafe.
I am unsafe. That's the key, isn't it? It's not just I have a lot of work, it's I am threatened.
Exactly. Your brain perceives a saber-toothed tiger, but the tiger is just a spreadsheet. So what's the physical manifestation? Tension headaches. That tight band across the forehead, the upper back becomes a sheet of plywood.
And you stop blinking. I've noticed that. You just stare at the screen and forget to blink.
The predator stare. Yes,
Yeah.
You dry out your eyes, and the reactive habit is that your body becomes armor. You forget to breathe, you forget to hydrate because there's no time. You sit in a fixed, rigid position for hours. The work gets done, sure.
But the body pays the tax.
The body pays the tax. You get home and you feel physically wrecked, even though you just sat in a chair all day.
Okay, example 2. Relationships. The wall of resentment.
This is a heavy one. Let's imagine a relationship with some unresolved conflict. A spouse, a parent, a boss.
You walk into the room, they're there. Nothing has even been said yet, but you can feel the air change.
Right. And the resentment thought triggers instantly. They don't respect me, or here we go again, or I have to be careful.
And physically, what does the servant do with that order?
Watch the throat tightens, the voice changes, it gets higher or sharper. Clipped, I'm fine.
Right. It's good.
The arms cross, the torso physically turns away, it's physical withdrawal. You are making your body smaller and harder, literally building a wall.
Alan has that brutal quote about the face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He says, a sour face does not come by chance. It is made by sour thoughts.
Oof. That's direct.
It's direct, but it's true. He talks about wrinkles. Wrinkles that mar are drawn by folly, passion, pride. If you spend 20 years frowning in resentment, that frown becomes etched into your face. The reactive habit is that your body learns to flinch before the other person even speaks.
And that blocks any real connection, which just reinforces the resentment. It's a loop.
A feedback loop from hell, yeah.
Oh, okay. Example 3. This one, it's close to home for a lot of us, I think. Habits. Let's call it the tired mind.
The evening crash.
It's 6 o'clock, you're done with work, you know you should go to the gym or cook that healthy meal you planned. You promised yourself you would.
But the depletion thought takes over. I can't handle anything else. I deserve a treat. I'm empty.
And the body it responds instantly.
The physical manifestation is slumping, lethargy. Your limbs feel heavy. It's not that your muscles are actually unable to move.
No, if the house caught on fire, you'd be out of there in a second.
Instantly. It's that the neural drive has been cut. The mind cut the power.
It feels like gravity just doubled.
And the reactive habit is the shortcut. You order the fast food because cooking feels impossible. You collapse on the couch and doom scroll for 2 hours because intentional action just feels too heavy.
And Alan would say this isn't really physical tiredness.
He would say it's a tired mind leading to a negligent body. The body is just following the mind's permission to give up. When the mind says, I'm done, the body shuts down the generators.
So we've seen the problem. We see the chain reaction. Thought leads to chemistry, leads to tension, leads to habit, leads to circumstance. The million-dollar question now is, how do we break it?
We have to interrupt the chain. We need a body tone reset.
A reset. I like that, like rebooting a computer when it starts lagging.
Exactly. And this isn't just thinking happy thoughts. That's the mistake people make. They try to fight a thought with another thought. But the body is already in on the act, so we need a behavioral protocol.
Okay, let's do it. If you're listening and you're not driving, maybe try this with us. It takes, what, a minute?
About 90 seconds. So, step 1. Notice current body tone. Wherever you are, just stop. Scan your physique right now. Start at the top. Is your jaw clenched?
Let it drop.
Are your teeth touching? Separate them. Check your shoulders. Are they creeping up toward your ears?
Drop them. Let gravity have them.
Check your breath. Is it stuck up in your chest? See if you can send it down to your belly. Are you bracing against your chair or are you supported by it?
It's amazing. The second you look, you find tension you didn't even know was there. I was totally holding my breath just now.
Always. Okay, so now step 2. Name the thought. Ask yourself, what thought is running this show? Why were my shoulders up?
It might be something like, I'm rushing to get to the next thing.
Or I feel threatened by that email. Or even just, I'm annoyed. You have to identify the mental script that's causing the physical bracing, catch the architect.
Okay, I have one. I'm rushing. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Now what?
Step 3. Replace with calm direction. This is cognitive reappraisal. You can't just delete a thought. You have to replace it with a direction statement.
So what's an example?
Instead of I am rushing, you could say I have time to handle this. Instead of I am threatened, it's I am safe and steady.
I am safe and steady. I can feel my chest open up just saying that.
But here's the trick. This is the part everyone misses. Thoughts alone are not enough. We need step 4. Outward action.
Okay.
You have to take a simple physical action that matches the new calm thought. Your body must act out the calm to believe it.
This is that embodied cognition thing, right?
Yes. So if my new thought is I have time, what's an action for that?
Maybe I stop typing and take a slow sip of water.
Perfect. Or you stand up and stretch.
Yeah.
Or you just tidy one small corner of your desk. You are proving to your nervous system behaviorally that you are not in a crisis.
Because people in a crisis don't tidy their desks.
They don't sip water slowly. You're reverse engineering the signal. You act calm so the body tells the mind, oh, I guess we must be safe.
A bottom-up signal. I love that. What's step 5?
Step 5. Remove one contradiction. This means you have to stop doing the thing that screams panic. If you're trying to be calm, maybe stop doom scrolling while you eat your lunch.
Ouch.
Or stop physically rushing when you walk to the bathroom. Stop using self-attack language. You can't tell your body we are safe while you are actively consuming threat-based media.
You have to clear the interference from the signal.
Yes. And finally, step 6. Short affirmation. Just seal it. Alan loved affirmations. End with a short phrase that connects the thought to the action you just took.
Something like, my mind is calm and my body is ready.
Perfect. My mind is calm and my body is ready. In 90 seconds, you've realigned the servant with a wise master.
That's a whole toolkit right there. Notice, name, replace, act, remove contradiction, affirm.
And if you do it just 5 times a day, you start to change your biology. You stop the crystallization process.
I know people are going to try this, and I also know they're going to stumble, because changing a lifetime of habit is hard. What are the common mistakes that trip people up?
There are 5 big ones. Mistake 1 is trying to change the diet without changing the thought.
The classic New Year's resolution failure. I'm going to eat clean, but I still hate my job and feel stressed all the time.
Alan is so clear on this. He says, change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. If your mind is screaming for comfort because of stress, no amount of willpower or kale is going to stick.
So you have to treat the stress first.
Make the mind calmer, and the desire for the junk food it fades. It's hard to binge eat when you're genuinely serene.
True. Okay, mistake number 2.
Mistake 2 is believing that venting anger actually releases it.
Oh, this is a big one. We're always told to let it all out. Punch a pillow. Scream in the car.
Biology would disagree. When you express anger like that, screaming, punching, you are often just physically reinforcing the neural pathway of rage. It's like practicing a tennis serve.
The more you do it, the better you get at it.
You are training your body to be a rage machine. So repression is not the answer, but rehearsal isn't either.
Processing, not rehearsing. Got it. What's number 3?
Mistake 3 is waiting for a medical crisis to finally value the body.
We wait until the engine is smoking before we think about changing the oil.
And Alan warns us to guard the mind now to prevent the demoralization of the body later. Preservation is so much easier than reconstruction.
Mistake 4.
Thinking that mental stress is somehow separate from physical stamina. I hear this all the time. I didn't do anything today. I just sat in meetings. Why am I so exhausted?
Yes, I should have energy to go for a run. I've been sitting all day.
You have to recognize that a worried mind drains physical energy. Your brain uses about 20% of your calories. When it's spinning on worry, it's burning fuel like crazy. You're tired because you were mentally sprinting all day.
That's really validating, actually. It's not laziness, it's just resource management.
And mistake 5 is ignoring the drip of the small thought.
The small stuff.
We think one bad day, one stressful hour won't hurt. But Alan reminds us, wrinkles are drawn by folly. It's the cumulative effect. It is the 10,000 small frowns, the 10,000 tiny slumps in your chair. It's the drip, drip, drip that wears away the stone.
So every small reset, every time you drop your shoulders on purpose, it matters. You're saving the stone.
You're saving the stone, exactly.
This has been heavy, but in a really good way. Puts the responsibility back on us. We're not just victims of our bodies. We're their custodians.
We're the architects.
Okay, let's recap. We have covered a lot of ground here. If you're taking notes, these are the key takeaways.
Let's do it. First, thoughts are the architects. The body is the building. You can't change the building without checking the blueprints first.
Next, the body keeps a score of our chronic mental atmosphere. It records our history right there in our posture, in our tissues.
And anxiety and fear actively demoralize our physical system. They strip us of our biological defenses.
But on the other hand, glad and beautiful thoughts can act as a rejuvenating force. They clothe the body in a kind of biological radiance.
So we have to interrupt that chain between the stress thought and the body tension. You have to catch the signal before it crystallizes.
And to do that, you can use the body tone reset. Notice the tension, replace the thought, and this is the crucial part, take an outward action that aligns the body with the new mind.
And finally, true health requires guarding the mind as the wellspring of life. If the source is clean, the stream will be clear.
If the source is clean, the stream will be clear. That is the Mosaic truth right there.
It's the only place you can really start.
So, we have the body under control. We've stopped the shaking, we've dropped the shoulders, but a calm body that's just sitting there is still just sitting there.
A ship that's safe in the harbor is calm, sure, but that is not what ships are built for.
Exactly. So now that we have the vessel ready, we need to know where we're going. And next time, we're moving on to episode 4, Thought and Purpose.
This is the big pivot point in the book. We move from what Alan calls aimless drifting, which he sees as a vice, to directed power. We're going to talk about how to hook all this thought energy to a specific goal to create real momentum.
From stability to velocity. I can't wait.
It is going to be powerful.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.